Hey, what's up, people? How you doing? Yeah, I'm just here again, one more day, trying to make it in this thing we call life. And man, just being grateful that I'm alive. As you can see, the topic is hey, Shanti, how you doing? You can see the topic is mass incarceration and ending everything that's going on in the prison system. I've been in contact with a few guys that are inside, and I just really want to speak on them. Anyway, today is a friend of mine's, Terrence Montgomery's birthday, so I can imagine the thing that his family is going through, his father, Terrence Sr. I've never met him personally, but, we've become friends through me advocating for him, as well as, what's up, son? How you doing? I get that mail to you today. So, just like Rufus Rochell, here's a man, he's the last person. I want y'all to listen to this. I'm trying to wait for as many people to come in. Of course, you can go back and watch it. Hey, Miss Pauline, how you doing? Thank you so much for inspiring me and pushing me to be better. And anything that you can pass on to me, Miss Pauline, Miss Rogers, please do. You and Fred. So I welcome the opportunity. But the thing about the prison, as well as the state and the feds, I'm going to talk about the feds first, but I want to touch on all of them. Hey, how you doing? Representative Charles Scott. So, hey, Samantha. But the thing is about prison is that we have to take care of our people, man. These are our friends. These are our sons. These are our daughters. I was thinking about, I made a post from Brother Rufus Rochell. He's been down 31 years. As I was saying, he's the first person sentenced under the crack law. And he's the last person still in prison for being held responsible for over 24 keys. I mind you now that he went to trial with no dope. Everything was ghost dope. So we're talking about things that are, we're talking about something that wasn't there that the prosecutors are still allowed to hold him responsible for. He's the last person that's under the old law that's waiting to get some release. And with all the crack laws, the one of 2008, 2010, 2012, they still haven't given him relief. Here's a man who's been incarcerated 31 years, almost 32 years, hasn't had an incident report. That's a shot, being in trouble. He's mentored young men and people inside. He's been all over. He's at Coleman now, man, and he's still an inspiration to so many people inside and out. Hey, Martha, how you doing? Free Evelyn Bozen. And the same thing with Evelyn Bozen Papa. She's been down over 22 years, man, and all she wants to do is go back to Colombia. And this is what I don't understand about the federal government. Here's somebody that's not going to be a threat to anybody here in the United States. All she wants to do, and all her family wants, is for her to go back to Colombia. So what's wrong with taking your pen, freeing this woman, and extraditing her back to Colombia? There's nothing that she could do to harm anybody in America. You know what I mean? And if Colombia will accept her back, what's wrong with that? What's up, Barry? And so that's the thing, man. And so there's so many people. If I miss somebody's name, man, the people that I'm advocating for, I just made a post. These are some of the people, man, that I advocate for on a daily basis. I want y'all to come in, from a lot of them I knew, especially like Marcus Boyd, man. Me and him walked and had Bible study every Friday and all throughout the week. So the thing is, I want to let these guys and their families know on the outside that I hadn't forgot about them, because I went through a hell of a journey on the inside. And it is a journey. Just like you go through a journey every day going back and forth, making it check to check, or however you're living, man. Everybody got their own vices outside here. But we have a lot of people that are still incarcerated due to misappropriation of justice, whether it be from prosecutors, whether it be from crooked police officers. And the people, once they get their hands on you, it's just so easy for them to say, no, we don't want to let him go. They're going to fight them tooth and nail just to hold them in prison, when these people have been incarcerated 2 decades. And that's why I try to do so many interviews and shed light on what's going on the inside. Yes, I'm out here in the free world, and people say, man, forget about that. then I'm no better than anybody else who walks around here and forget about the prison right over there in Parchment, or forget about the prison. How you doing, Ms. Nancy? Forget about the people that are still incarcerated. You know, they don't want to tell you that all these guys and these men and women who are in prison in Aliceville and Tallahassee and Greenville and Forest City and Yazoo City and, you know, all the federal prison and even Parchment, it's just a hotbed for this pandemic to explode, man, back on our society. And these people, they already don't get the proper medical care. And as you see, all the reports that have been coming out about ibuprofen, the number one medicine in the federal prison, and anybody that knows, is that the only medicine that they give you is ibuprofen. They give you ibuprofen for everything inside the prison. And as the reports and all the doctors are saying, that ibuprofen increases the risk of somebody catching, what's up, Kurt? The people catching the coronavirus. How you doing, Keisha? Martha, Nancy, everybody, man. Thank y'all for joining in. And so, hey, nephew, what's up? There's so many injustices, man. I want you to send in all your things, the people that you're fighting for. I want everybody to join in this fight. There's power in us. I get on here, man, because if I can bring one more person every week into the fight, whatever we have to do, whether it's a social petition or change.org, I'm talking about physically going out, man, and advocating for these people like Rufus Rochell, Martha Bowen, and so many others, man. Marcus Boyd, Derek Parks. It's just so many others, man. If I'm missing somebody, man, send me their names. Chantel, send me their names. And it's sad, man. It's sad that we have to sit here every day and we're only concerned about ourselves, man. I think about how my nieces and nephews love me behind the wall for so many years. Hey, what's up, Markin? And, you know, and not knowing how I was doing every day, but they still sent me love. So we have to still send love inside of the prison, man. If it wasn't for the love of my family, man, a bunch of days I wouldn't have survived. You know, there was one time where I spent 15 months in the SHU. What's up, little bro? You all right, Jody? I spent 15 months in the SHU under investigation, so I can only imagine. They had guys that used to get sick in the SHU, and it took 4 or 5 hours for them to answer the bell just to go check on them in the SHU. So I can imagine everything that they're going through right now, being on a modified lockdown due to this coronavirus. And so I was just, right now, man, the people in Yazoo said the power was out like 10 to 12 days. That in itself is showing you that they don't really give a damn about these people that are still locked up. We're talking about right here in the state of Mississippi, where I'm from, about 70 miles south of here. You know, they're saying that they got like 8 or 9 guards who've been quarantined. So, you know, they tell us that they've been quarantined, but these people are still going home, going back into the Walmart, going back into the grocery store, going back into Dirt Cheap and all those stores right there in Yazoo. And they're not telling the people that they've tested positive for coronavirus because they need them to come to work. You got some officers that's been working 36 hours straight. You know, and the first person that they reported as a death in the federal system was Patrick Jones, a guy from Texas. He had just received a 27-year sentence for a nonviolent drug offense. You know what I mean? And he died. So they had 14 officers test positive and 13 inmates at Oakdale. You know, so they're not telling you that somebody died up in Butner. You know what I mean? But guys on the inside, but they can rule the matter of death and write it down as they see fit, because they don't want people to panic about what's going on inside. Man, it's people dying right now inside of prison because of the coronavirus. And, you know, people might ask me, man, why do you care? Because these are some of the guys that I became friends with over the years, that I have a passion to help people. Even in my town, even wherever it is, man, it doesn't matter. That's all of our responsibility. What's up, nephew? You know, and you're right, Nancy. It is inhumane. But the thing is, what are we going to do about it? You know what I mean? I ask people not to like my comments. I ask you to share them. I share them because I want the world to know. And it's like 6 degrees of separation. So we have 14 people. You know what I mean? You take that 14 and think that just imagine that each one of those 14 people or 13 inmates affecting infecting 6 more inmates with the coronavirus. And you think about those, if they transfer one, he's going to go somewhere and it's going to spread. You've seen all the videos that are floating around, man, with everybody in prison, man, or how the coronavirus is spread and stuff like that. I don't know if they're downplaying or if they're just trying to make the public not go into a frenzy or into a panic. But you think about this. They've closed the borders. How many times? I haven't really seen this on the news. They've closed the border coming from Texas into Louisiana, where it's mandatory quarantine. So that lets you know in itself that there's something going on bigger than what we really know. You know what I mean? And you figure right there on the line between, on I-10, you got Oakdale Federal Prison on this side, and you got Beaumont Complex, where it's about 2,500 at the medium, about 2,600 at the low, and about 1,800 at the medium. You got over 7,000 people with the camp, with both camps. So, you know, you just think about all those guys, man, and it's just a hotbed to become. And these are people that they write off. Even though they get $33,500 a year for each one of these people, they don't care if they die, because they're going to get their money regardless. You know what I'm saying? They got insurance policy and bonds on each one of us. You know, this is the thing that I had to learn. You can't really speak too much about it because, you know, it's consequences for speaking out about certain things when you're talking about other people's hidden money. You know. And so the thing is, man, you know, I'm here today just speaking out. Like I say again, for those of you who joined me late, it's a good friend of mine's birthday. He celebrated his birthday on lockdown at Pollard Medium. What's up, Cut Dog? You right. So, you know how it was, Cut Dog, when we was in there, man. When something like this came through, we were, how you doing, LaJuan? Man, we was on lockdown. We had 2 months with no lights. You know, they never told anybody this. I never really told my family a lot of these things because I didn't want them to worry about me. But, you know, now it's time, man, that I'm out here. I got to tell them what I went through and to tell them what they're going through now. You talking about being on a modified lockdown, and you talking about ultimate price gouging. Right now, I can see at the transfer center right across from Oklahoma Center, where back when I came through, they were charging $1 for one ramen noodle soup. $8 a phone call. And if it was collect, they charged the people like $16 for a phone call if you call collect. But if I paid for the phone call on my account, it cost me $8 to make a phone call. They don't tell you about the $1 million they make off the TrueLink Center, where they charge you $0.05 a minute to use the email. But you got, like I said, some units have 8 phones in it, but most of the units got only 4 phones in it. You know what I mean? So people are waiting. The same people are using the same phones and everything. I know it sounds repetition, man, but I just want y'all to just really just let that sink in and think about that, man, and how these people don't have a choice. They're forced to be inside with each other. You know what I mean? So they're forced to go through this, man. And one of the things about us as a community, what I want to do, man, we got to find a way. You know, and I know I'm jumping around. We got to find a way to cut off this endless supply of black men and black women going to prison. You know what I mean? I don't, want people to take this as a racist statement or a racist comment, but the pipeline for us is far greater than any other race, whether it's Hispanic or whites. They have a pipeline, man, to where they're pumping out black boys and black girls into prison. You know what I'm saying? So we have to be mindful of that. Now, I know that all the people in prison, black, white, and Hispanic, are in perilous dangers right now today because of the coronavirus. But I also want y'all to be aware of that they're sending our young black boys and young black girls to juvenile detention and putting them on probation. Once they put them on probation, nobody knows why they're on probation. Only thing they know that they've been a troubled teen. He could have been on probation for skipping school. And the parents, you're at home complaining about your child being at home. Man, take this time to teach them their history. Take them this time to teach them about their ancestors or about their family history. Who their grandfather was, who their parents were. Man, take that time to bond with your child so you can know what he's lacking and what he's not. and they got these ridiculous scales to how they classify us. I just heard Crystal Denise speak about this yesterday at the Black Liberation Temple, and she was talking about how they put this racist scale on our children because some kids might be good at math but not good at language arts. So it's up to us, the parent, the family member, the niece and nephews or whoever, to bring them up to speed where they are lacking, but to also inspire them and to drive them to be better people. It's our responsibility. It's not society's responsibility. What society wants to do is to send them in that same prison, the one that I just came out of. That's what they want to do because he's a cash. It's no difference. And when they passed I was just telling Brian in an interview I did this weekend that the thing is about society want to classify. They took the 13th Amendment, and I want everybody to Google the video 13 and watch it. It's a documentary. It might be on Netflix, but I doubt it. But anyway, you can find it. Just Google it. It should be on YouTube. Watch the documentary 13 and how they took the 13th Amendment and made it to where if any crime is committed, they have the right to put you back in slavery. People don't see that and people don't think about that. But when you think about me being in prison, man, it's the same thing as slavery. And prison is designed to condition most men to where they're dependent upon society. And there's a lot of things, man. I had to break the mental dependencies on being incarcerated to be able to adapt and adjust. But, we got mental slaves out here. Like I say, I speak this all the time. We got mental slaves that get up and go to work every day. They're a slave to their job. They take abusive shit from their bosses when they should be having their own business and we should be spending our own money in our own communities and uplifting each other. You know what I mean? Just like my hometown, for example. And I think about my hometown. What's up, Marcus? How you doing? Oh yeah, definitely. They're lying about the number of people infected inside of prison. I'm gonna get back to that, but I'm gonna really dig into that, and I want to close out real hard on that because I know how they'll lie. Because just like I tell people, when I was in all the different prisons where I seen people die, and my family members, I seen it on the news that somebody got stabbed. I said, well, did they tell you 4 people got killed in a riot? Or did they tell you, 10 people died? Or when we had the epidemic with the swine flu come through or SARS come through, did they tell you people died from that? No. Do they tell you people die every day from mold? Man, if you go down there, it's something that they have in the food. I was telling him about the food that we had, and you can Google this too, about contaminated food in the federal prison. If you got somebody in the federal prison, I'm sure they're doing it in the state. The only good thing about the state, most of the time, the state raise their own foods, fruits, and vegetables. But in the feds, we have so many people being on contract to feed us bullshit food that they had a big thing about where over 15 years, they had this beef company that was taking hearts and all the other internal organs and just grinding up the whole cow and feeding us, skinning them and grinding up everything just to stretch the ground beef. And all the food that we got for many years had not for human consumption. As soon as I get my property, I'm going to show you the labels that came off some of the food. And all the fish that we got had for marine food only, meaning that they're supposed to be used at some of these big aquariums and stuff. This is the food that they served us. So I know that they'll lie about a lot of things. So they're going to downplay the number of people who are dying in federal prison from the coronavirus or dying in prison because of it's amazing how many people, man, young people, come out with high blood pressures or different infectious disease and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a lot of stuff that we're going through, man. Hey, how you doing, Alyssa? So if there are any questions, man, I really want y'all to kind of like send me some questions or a topic that you want me to, hey, Super Chef, I really need to get with you, man, like ASAP, So I have a nonprofit that I want to start. That's the Super Chef, man. He's like a son to me, man. He's my he's my son better half, man. I better move on before I get teary-eyed. So people don't tell you, man, that we lose our loved ones inside, man, that we never get to have closure. But I thank you, Donnell, for honoring my son the way that you have through your books, man. Literacy is a big part of what we have to do for our black children, our black boys and stuff like that. So, I want to thank you. So big ups to you, Donnell. But pretty soon, please give me a call, man, before the day. And also, like Martha said, we cannot forget about the people who are incarcerated and who are not U.S. citizens. Man, once you are in prison, I think that all people are considered U.S. citizens until it's time for them to get out. Once they get the time, once the government get their $33,500 a year times 30 years or 35 years, once you're no longer a commodity, then they'll send you back home. You know what I mean? So I feel your pain, Martha. And the thing that, man, I think that the way that you can help Donnell is that we have to hold them accountable. What we have to do as family members, we have somebody somewhere with the food system in prison. I think that we have to find some way to get it audited because the BOP doesn't want to release like who their meat suppliers are within prison. And so that's the biggest thing because the public don't really care. Nobody knows about, nobody cares about what their relatives are eating inside of prison. The only thing they worry about when they come to visit, what can they buy them out the vending machine? When that food, man, most of the time it looks like dog food when you're inside prison. Like I say, I'm not really familiar with the state, but I know in all the federal prisons that I went through, the only place that they had decent food was in the transfer centers because you had so many people coming into the transfer center that were inspecting them. I just think that we can have a better institution where they can teach people how to become chefs or how to become cooks, within the federal system and stuff like that. So I just think I would like to sit down and talk to you about that, and maybe we can find a way to do that. Now I know on the state level down there that what we can do is that we can get inside. We got Miss Pauline Rogers, man, she's been getting inside of these prisons, so maybe she can find a way to where she's been doing prison ministry and doing a hell of a job, man, here in Mississippi. But she goes everywhere for training and everything, so maybe we can get with her. But I want to start at home first because I'm only 6 miles from the prison, so I know a couple of the people who are in high-ranking position over here at Parchman, and I would like to work with them, man, just see how we can change that. The eating system, the eating habits of prisoners and stuff, so that we can begin to become healthy inside. And so that's one of the things. Hey, Clarence, how you doing, man? How you doing? It's been an honor to work with you too, Clarence. But I think that we have to be a team in our efforts to take care of our people on the inside, take care of our people at home. Hey, I hadn't forgot about BAM license. Derek, Rayshawn Parks, man. I just want everybody, man. The last post I made, I want you to look at those names. Find a way. You can go on BOP.gov and pull them up just by name and search them by name, man, and look at them. And then some of them, like I posted Terrence's story this morning. Look at his story, man. A lot of people, you just think that people are crying out because they got caught. So what about, I tell you all the time, what about all the people who were released daily or have served 30 years for corrupt policemen, corrupt DA? Nothing happens to them. They get a slap on the wrist, but then they tell the people, you can't sue the state for holding you for 20 plus years in prison illegally. You know what I'm saying? And so that's the thing, man. We got to stop believing that the police are always right. You will see. If this thing get worse than what it is, you're going to see just how corrupt our government is. When they start putting restrictions on how much you can buy, where you can go, then until the noose gets tightened around your neck here on the outside in the street, then you're not going to really understand how corrupt the government is. You know what I mean? And the thing is, the people are handing the power back to them. We the people are handing the power back to the government, man. So we have to be a self-government, nation and stuff like that. Just look how long, man. Look how long, or just listen to our leader talk to the governor of Michigan and the governor of New York and stuff like that. Man, we have a problem. Not just in Houston, man, all over the United States, man. But like I say, man, I'm really here. I want to try to stay focused on the mass incarceration aspect and what they're going through as prisoners. we have to find a way to get the numbers out of the people, man. Call your local congressman, no matter where you at. Nice to you in North Carolina. Man, call your congressman. All you down in Florida, call your congressman. Hey, Amy, how you doing? I appreciate you so much for fighting for me. Hey, Sandra. And yes, we have to form some type of coalition to where we can use social media. This is our power structure. And we're not using it, man. We're using it to grab likes and hearts and stuff for people, man. Man, damn that. If somebody put out some content that you can find and research for it to be valid, then share it. So somebody else can share it. So we can bring a mass awareness to this, and we can find out how we can better change. Man, I can remember the day, man, that I called Amy at Can Do. And she told me, man, I'm not taking any more people. So, and I understood. And now me watching her and all the energy that it takes to advocate for somebody, I can see her in her fight where she has 25 men. Go to the Can Do Foundation. I want y'all to look at that. This woman, if we could form a coalition to where several people have organization that fights for 25 men and 25 women. So this is all of our fights. So she shouldn't be burdened down to where we should be able to where she has to be stretched out and fly and speak out on everybody. Everybody has a voice, man. And we have a voice that we can use to speak out for the people that we have, that are incarcerated. You know what I mean? Hey, Corvetta, how you doing, Miss Pearl? Sandy, thank you. All the way from the United Kingdom, and she's fighting for Trey over here. So we have to, man, it takes a lot of time and a lot of energy, but it's not impossible. You know what's impossible? The thing is, man, we sit home and we take all this for granted. And we see people, we pass by people daily, man. We take so many little things for granted. And so we have to be mindful, man, that so many of you watching this video only one step away from being incarcerated. The charge I went to prison for, I wasn't even in the state of Mississippi. So it took me 23 years to get out of the vices of the federal government. Had I went to the state, I would have beat it. Had I went to the state, then the corrupt police officer couldn't have prevailed. But once you get into the grips of the federal government, and they do what they want to, man, they can stack the deck. They took me from out of this district and took me to Oxford, Mississippi, for them to tell me nobody involved in my case was white except that police officer that arrested me. So their word was just like a gold seal. I don't know if it's because I was a black man or because they had earned that right to keep lying and to lock people up. Hey, cuz, what's up, man? How you doing? So it's just so many things that we need to do, man. And today I really want to focus on us getting together and forming a coalition. If you know somebody that's incarcerated or locked up, man, check on their status. Angela. Yeah. So Donnell, please get at me today. And so, like I say, man, I want to tell Mr. Montgomery, man, for his son, happy birthday to Terrence and Shamika and everybody. Keep fighting. So whatever it is, man, I'm accessible, man. Like I say, if you want to get at me and you want to ask somebody that you want to advocate for or you want to fight for, I'm only one person, and all I can do is do what I can. You know what I mean? That's all I can do. But nothing is impossible at all, man. We just have to reach out and form that bond. We got all these groups like Voices from the Inside, Voices for Change. We got Stones Will Cry Out in North Carolina. They're all over the United States, but each one of them are working independently. Some kind of way, man, we had to do a summit at least 3 times a year, 4 times a year, every quarter, to where we meet and discuss. Hey, nephew, what's up? That we meet and discuss these issues about how we can change the prison system. And there's no way that we're going to be able to change it on our own. No matter how powerful we get, no matter how, it's going to take a collective effort, for us to change that. You got to, man, there's no way, man, that Charles Scott should be serving the amount of time that he's serving, knowing that he didn't get caught with any cocaine. There's no reason that Terrence should be subjected to crooked policemen in Fort Worth, Texas. There's no reason that Rufus Rochell should be in prison for The last man sentenced under the crack law is still in prison, waiting on release. You know, what's up, little Perry? You know what I mean? And like I said, he hasn't been in any trouble, man, taking every class that he could until they don't really have anything else to offer him but freedom. You know what I mean? There's no reason that Evelyn Boza Papa should still be over here when all she wants to do is go home, especially during this crisis, especially now, when you can sign a $1 trillion bill, a $2 trillion bill to help us, and then you want to regulate who gets it and how much they should get. But you got these people who don't have a say so into what's going to happen to them. So they're sitting there and they're just letting people, okay, Cage Kingdom to get in touch with the inmates in prison. Okay, so everybody log on to Cage. Just go to Cage Kingdom. You know, when you leave here, just go to Cage Kingdom and read, and then see what's going on. You know what I mean? So we gotta expose the people, whether we expose them in Yazoo, whether they expose them, the wardens and everything in Forest City or everywhere, man. We just got 51 years under reform but not retroactive law. Man, that's crazy. Charles Scott has served 22 years. Oh, that's the stacking. So I know he had some 924 stacking because that's how they get us. They charge you with one gun, and then every time that you supposedly use a robbery the Supreme Court has already said 924C is unconstitutional. Yet Congress or the federal government won't make it retroactive, so all of these people can go free. We got Eric Gasson stuck like that. We got James Hicks stuck like that, simply because they got a 924C law that Congress and the Supreme Court has said that it was unconstitutional, but Congress won't make it retroactive. The same way they make me wait from 2008 until 2020 to make the crack law retroactive. They changed the guideline from 100 to 1 to 18 to 1 in 2007, but it took them until 2020 to make it retroactive in order for me to get some action for it. So they kept me in prison, you know, even though I was not guilty of the crime I committed, but just from 6 grams, I went to trial for 6 grams of cocaine, and I served 23 years. 6 grams of cocaine, they call it a quarter ounce because it's the size of a quarter. I didn't get caught with any cocaine. That's what they said I sold. I ate it in a bed. I was with somebody that sold 6.4 grams. You know, but they charged the person who was the principal, they gave him 31 months. They gave me 400 months. You know what I mean? So I guess I was the big fish behind the scene that they wanted. So they gave him 31 months and gave me 400 months. Like I said, the feds give you time in months. So I can imagine when Charles Scott got his time in years, 51 years, they had an initial charge what they charged him with, but what they do, they come back and enhance you and they stack time. They give you 5 years on a gun. It's just like stacking. Instead of running concurrent where everything runs together, they stack it on top to where it's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. It's stacked like this. Instead of running concurrent where if it was 5 years, it'll be, several 5 years in and run concurrent. They stack them and put them on top of each other just so a man can serve. And they got that option to do that. So when you see other races go to trial, they run theirs concurrent. So the prosecutor has the power to make it, whether they make it concurrent or stack it. That's racial in itself, man. Because if you look and see how many people are serving time for 924C, they're African American, man. And that just is simple as that. You got a man who served his country, man, James Hicks. And he got 60 years. When his initial charge, where he should have only got, the max was 12 years, but they put all the guns on all the robbery and stacked them. Every time somebody said he had a gun, which he didn't use a gun, nobody was hurt, there's no victim in it. Like I say, the Supreme Court said that this is wrong. Look up, Google Hobbs Act robbery. And don't just take my word for it. Everything I say, man, you can go and look it up and call me out on it. You know what I mean? Hey, come on here, Shirley. Yeah, but that's the thing, man. So, yeah, just doing a little loud. Okay. Let me, come on. Tell him I'm doing live. Come on.
He said, did you order his car?
Not yet, but tell me, tell him I'm ordering in a minute. Just give my
Not
phone.
yet.
All right. All right. Yeah, so that's the thing. Hey, Eddie. Yeah. Yeah. But that's the thing. Hey, Mr. Cronenberg. Looking forward to my interview for you. But as I was saying, what's up, John Mo? But we just have to, man, find a way to fight for all those people that who are incarcerated. We got to find a way to end mass incarceration. We got to find a way to check on our family, man, during this coronavirus and see how they're doing and what they're doing at their institution, be it the state level or be it the federal level. So we have to find a way to do that, man. Got Eddie Bass, man, brother I did time with at Beaumont and at Yazoo. Did 262 months and should have been his max time without the stacking was 11 years. If they made this, if they had made that retroactive, we got Eddie Bass, man. Remember, you know what I mean? What's up, Derek? I know, Derek. I know. Go on, give it to me. This your homeboy from the cradle to the grave, man. You all right, brother? You know what I mean? You know why I do this though, Derek? Because there's so many people, man. So many people like myself in jail. Well, I looked and researched their case, man, to where they were serving I'm not saying everybody should be free. Believe me, there's some people in prison, state and fed, that need to be in jail. But there are a lot of people. I guarantee you, man, when you scratch the surface and push the dirt back, there are a lot of people, man, who are caught up in the web of injustice. You know what I'm saying? And so that's the thing, man. That's the thing. But, you know, it's I don't know, man. I just know we got a hell of a fight. And I don't know. I'll be here, man, every Tuesday, hopefully, man, if God's give me the strength. But, you know, in between time and in the meantime, I will be fighting. You know what I mean? I owe that to my son, you know, because I still feel like, you know, he died of a broken heart. I didn't get a chance to spend the necessary time I needed with him, man. So I owe that to him. You know what I mean? So no other child has to go through this. You know, I know everybody you're right, Bloody Beaumont. I was there. You know what I mean? When so no child should have to go through hearing the news that their father has 30 years, man, at 7 or 8 years old or at 3. I got my son Javarian, he wasn't even walking. You know what I mean? I've had to build a bond with him from behind the wall. You know, so I just want to take my own life as an example. You know what I mean? And I can imagine all the children. You know, I used to just look in the vision room and see the children, man, and just look at the glow in a child's eyes when he see his father. He didn't care nothing about the khaki uniform or the green uniform that he has on. You know, all thing he was doing, he waited for that opportunity for somebody to take them to see their dad in prison. So I can imagine what it does to a child and the traumatic experience that it inflicts him with when they can see their mom in prison. You know what I mean? I can imagine what Martha is going through, knowing that her mother is in prison and she's been in prison for over 22 years. And Martha is in Colombia. You know, I can count the times, man, to where, you know, I wish that I could see my son or just, you know, or any of my nieces and nephews too, man, because all my nieces and nephews, I treat them like they're my own kids, you know. And so that's the thing, man. So, and that's the biggest thing for me, man. So I just want people to know, man, just looking at my kids' eyes when they come, and there was not one time that my son Maurice came to see me that he didn't leave, that he wasn't in full tears when it was time to go. You know what I mean? And so I prayed so many days that I would make it home just to see him and hold him, you know, and it's still hard for me, man. I still, to this day, I haven't had the strength to read his obituary, you know what I mean? And so it makes me, I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain, man. I really want to do it around my son. You know what I mean? I want to meet his friends just to see, you know, the effect that, just looking at the effect that he had on going back and reading his posts and just see how people commented, you know, on his funeral and stuff and just on his Facebook page. So I know that even in prison, man, that I tried to be a good father and to be the best father I could with what I had to work with. And so there are a lot of fathers who are still in prison, man, that are trying to be fathers in prison. There are a lot of mothers who are trying to be mothers in prison to their kids, man, and the system just won't let them. And so there are a lot of parents struggling, wondering how, and they're more worried about how their family are doing from inside of prison than we are out here worried about them. You know, it's stressful, and it's something, man, that weighs heavy. That weighs heavy on a parent from inside of prison, and I'm sure that it's traumatic for a child to grow up knowing that he goes to school and kids tease him and bully him about his dad being in prison. You know what I'm saying? Or all the PTA function, or all the football games and basketball games that they couldn't attend, man. They looking in the crowd and thinking that one day your father's going to be there to see you. You know what I mean? I think about Michael in that aspect and Trey in that aspect, and just so many things that I miss, you know what I mean, with them. And so it's just my mission, man. It's just my mission to end mass incarceration, to whatever I can do. Any kind of way that I can help to chip away at the stones of mass incarceration so that they won't be buried alive, then, you know, that's my job. Hey, Bridget, looking forward to getting that book out real soon. You know what I mean? So, I'm going to get ready to wrap this up, man. I really thank everybody for tuning in. And so, man, just, you know, send me something, whatever you need, whatever you want me to talk about. You know, hey, Cheerio, what's up? Terrence, what's up? So I really hadn't got a chance to talk to a lot of y'all, you know what I mean? And so please, feed me that information. There's corruption everywhere inside of prison. Hey, Miss King, Martha, everybody. Nikki, what's up, family? You know, all right? So you left in 07. I left in January 1997. What's up, Turkey Log? Yeah, you came through, so you got a slap on the wrist, man. It took me 23 years. You know what I mean? But I ain't mad at you. You know what I mean? Yeah, reach out to me, brother. Yeah, what's up, cuz? You all right? Anytime, Donnell, I'd like to sit down with you, man. One time, maybe we can do a Zoom interview or whatever, just so we can share, you know, share with the people and stuff. Yep. Hey, Spoonie, you all right? Yeah, man. But anyway, like I was saying, man, I was just tuning in. Happy birthday, Terrence Montgomery. So y'all tell Terrence, man, everybody share that for me, man. Wish him a happy birthday so his family can relay that to him. So Shamika and Terrence Sr., you know, and I can imagine him knowing that his son is in prison, man, with everything going on inside of Pollock, and Louisiana is already a hotbed, so I can know some of the officers being infected, that he got to know. Yeah, we can do that any day this week. Just give me a call down there, and I'll be ready, you know. So, but I can imagine Terrence's father and his family and even his children thinking about him while he's in Pollock, Louisiana, inside a prison. You know what I'm saying? You too, Miss Scott. You know, so just and today is his birthday, and they're thinking about his 31st birthday. I think, you know, the reason I really want to do that and highlight that and wish him a happy birthday, you know, because Maurice Jr. was 31. You know what I mean? And he died about a month and a half before I came home. So he was 31. So it's a blessing for him to be 31, you know, even though he's inside of prison. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's big, man. That's big, you know. But thank everybody for tuning in. I'll see you next week, you know, from Two Black Media. You know, so make sure that you go to my page, my business page, Two Black, and follow it, because all of my interviews, my live interviews will be coming from Two Black soon. You know what I mean? If you're not following me, you won't get this. You know what I mean? So don't just like, make sure that you share all the comments that I did today. Do it for Charles MC Scott. You know, do it for James Hick. Do it for Rufus Rochell. Read his quotes of the day. He's still inside of prison, finding time to put out pertinent and potent information to the masses. You know what I mean? Stay blessed, man. Jeremiah 29:11. I know the plans I have for you, the plans of good and plans of not evil. Stay prayed up, man. Stay safe. God bless you. Hey, Vicky. I got to get you that letter, Vicky. I know. I got it written. I just got to send it to you. Yeah, he fussing at me too. So I'll be sure to get that to you. Y'all take care. God bless.